Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we're diving into a plant that is an absolute classic, but let's be honest, can be surprisingly tricky. English ivy. We all have this image of these beautiful, elegant vines just cascading down, but how many of us have actually ended up with a pot of sad, crispy leaves? Yeah, if that sounds a little too familiar, don't even worry. We're about to crack the code together. And look, it's not just us. Plant expert Anastasia Remslow pretty much hits the nail on the head here. She says crispy leaves are the #1 complaint she hears. And the cause? Well, it almost always boils down to one of two things. The soil is too dry or the air is too dry. And that's exactly the mystery we're going to solve today. So, what is the secret to getting that gorgeous, lush, cascading ivy we're all after? Well, the good news is it's not some big, complicated secret at all. It's really just a set of simple, foundational rules. If you can master these, I promise, you'll go from feeling like an ivy killer to a total ivy whisperer. Let's get right into it. So, we've broken it all down into 5 core essentials. Seriously, think of these as the 5 pillars for perfect ivy care. If you can get these right, your plant won't just be surviving, it's going to absolutely thrive. First up, light. And getting this right is half the battle. On the left, you see the sweet spot, bright but indirect light. So think of a spot near a window, maybe with a sheer curtain, where it gets lots of light but not the harsh sunbeams. Because on the right, that's the enemy. Direct sun will literally scorch the leaves and give you those brown, crispy spots we all hate. Now, you've probably heard that ivy can tolerate low light. And it's true, it can survive, but it's not going to be happy. It falls into what I call the low light trap. What happens is the plant gets leggy, and that just means you see these long, kind of sad-looking stems with leaves that are super far apart. That's your ivy literally stretching itself out, desperately searching for more sun. Okay, let's talk about maybe the single most important rule of all, watering. Please, forget watering on a schedule, like every Sunday. The only rule you need is this one: stick your finger in the soil. If the top inch or two feels dry, it's time to water. If it feels even a little damp, just wait. Seriously, that's it. Now here's where things can get a little tricky. If you overwater, you get soggy soil and yellow leaves. That's a classic sign of root rot setting in. If you underwater, the soil is bone dry and you get those brittle, crispy edges. But here's the confusing part. A wilting plant can actually mean either one. So the crucial takeaway here is always check the soil first. It tells you the real story. All right, let's talk temperature. And this is interesting because, unlike a lot of your other tropical houseplants that are just craving heat, English ivy actually prefers to be on the cooler side. The absolute sweet spot is right here between 50 and 70 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 10 to 21 Celsius. So just be mindful to keep it away from any hot radiators or heating vents in the winter. Remember that quote from the beginning about dry air? Well, this is how we fix it. Dry indoor air, especially in the winter, is probably English ivy's biggest enemy. But boosting the humidity is pretty easy. You can mist the leaves every couple of days or put it on a tray with pebbles and water. Even just grouping it with your other plants helps create a little humid microclimate. Or hey, pop it in a kitchen or bathroom. And when it's time to feed your ivy, just remember this: less is more. All you need is a standard balanced houseplant fertilizer, but dilute it to half of what the bottle recommends. Feed it about once a month, but, and this is important, only during the spring and summer. That's its growing season. In the fall and winter, just let it rest.
Now we get to my favorite part, pruning. I know a lot of people are kind of scared to cut their plants, but with ivy, you gotta do it. It is the secret to getting that really dense, bushy, full look that we all want. Pruning doesn't just keep it from getting too long. It actually tells the plant, hey, branch out and get fuller.
And look, the process is super simple. You just find those long, leggy vines we talked about, grab some clean scissors, and snip right above a leaf. But here's the best part. Do not throw those cuttings away. Every single piece you trim is a potential brand new plant. So what do you do with those cuttings? You propagate. This is how you get free plants, and it's incredibly easy with ivy. Just take a piece that's about 4 to 6 inches long, pull off the bottom couple of leaves, and stick the stem in a glass of water. In a few weeks, you'll start to see little white roots appear. Once they're an inch or two long, you can plant it in soil. It is so rewarding. Okay, so you've got the basics down, but what happens when your plant still looks a little off? Well, your ivy is constantly sending you little signals. The trick is just learning how to read them. It's time to become a plant detective. Think of this chart as your go-to cheat sheet. You see crispy brown edges? Your plant is thirsty, either for water or for more humidity. Seeing a lot of yellow leaves? You're almost certainly overwatering. that leggy growth we talked about, it needs more light. And if you see really fine, dusty-looking webbing on the leaves, you've got spider mites. Oh, and if your pretty variegated leaves are starting to turn all green, that's also a cry for more light.
And if you remember just one single thing from this troubleshooting section, please let it be this. When in doubt, check the soil first. So many problems can be confusing, but the soil tells the truth. Is it soggy? Is it bone dry? Checking the soil first is going to solve like 90% of the mysteries your ivy throws at you.
All right, so once you've dialed in all that care, you're gonna have a gorgeous, happy plant on your hands. And now comes the really fun part, showing it off. The payoff for all your attention is this stunning, living piece of home decor.
And you have so many options for what to do with it. Of course, you can let it cascade from a classic hanging basket. You can let it drape elegantly from the top of a bookcase. You can even get creative and train it up a little trellis to create living wall art. It's just so incredibly versatile. But before we get too carried away with all the cool ideas, there's a really quick but very important safety note. English ivy is toxic if it's ingested by pets or by people. So as you're planning your beautiful display, just be sure it's safely up and out of reach of any curious cats, dogs, or small children.
And finally, let's not forget about ivy's hidden talent. Sure, we love it for its beauty, that's a huge part of its appeal. But as this chart shows, it's also a powerhouse air purifier. NASA studies have shown it's really effective at filtering out common indoor pollutants like benzene and formaldehyde, so it's literally making your home healthier while it makes it more beautiful.
So there you have it. Armed with these essentials, you're not just an ivy owner anymore, you're an ivy expert. That plant that once seemed so tricky is now basically your canvas. So the only question left is, what kind of amazing living art are you going to create with it?